Folks, welcome back. Today's video is going to be about Prismatic Evolutions poster collections and all of the decisions that you make in your life that are based on what other people's perception is. By the way, if you're wondering, I am the stupid Timmy that paid over MSRP for every single one of these boxes that you see behind me on a set that is less than 1 year old, still in print. And I'm putting it out there for everyone out there to see, all the haters, so that when I'm wrong, they can all come back and cite this video and make fun of me and hurl all the insults. You know, it's funny though. Everybody wants all the glory without any of the sacrifice, the hard work, the risk, the sleepless nights thinking about if you're making the right decisions. But nobody wants to give any congratulations when the decisions pay off, right? They only want to chop you down when you inevitably make a mistake here or there. And this could undoubtedly be one of the biggest mistakes I make. Is Prismatic Evolutions. I'm not sure. No one knows the future, not even me. I don't know. One thing I do know is, I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. One of the biggest things that's probably held me back at certain situations in my life is not even being afraid of taking risks, financial risk, whatever other kind of risk. It was more about what the people around me would have thought if it failed. You guys ever get that? What like your parents or family would think, what your friends would think, spouse or kids, if you have kids, you know, everyone that's kind of in your circle, right? Especially now online, all the haters, you know, what everyone, you know, would think when things go wrong and you screw up and all the backlash you're going to take, all the I told you so's. I think that was actually more that held me back in the past more than the money itself. Because I just look back at this hobby and so many plays that I wanted to make or go harder on all across the years, stemming all the way back to my original large play, which was XY Evolutions back in 2016, 17, 18. And I went relatively hard, but like always, I wish I would have bought more. And at the time, I wanted to buy more. But, you know, I kept looking at, you know, my accounts, my cash accounts, my other investment accounts, you know, trying to determine how much of my net worth was being put in Pokemon, what's too risky. Oh my gosh, what if all this stuff does fail and I'm wrong? You know, how much mockery am I going to take for losing all this hard-earned money that I put into this stupid cardboard? And even after play would pan out, and, you know, I did step it up each time, year after year, I still feel like I've been held back up till recently, just worried about, you know, how things would be perceived if I did really go all in on stuff and be wrong. And the more I look back is, every time if I would have done exactly what I wanted to do, I would be exponentially more wealthy than I am. Exponentially, not even close. I'm sure you guys are the same way, right? Was there a degree you wanted to go for in school, but you're like, I don't know, it'll take too long, too many classes. I can't, I'll just get a master's for that job, a doctorate for that job. I don't want to start that business. It's probably, you know, overcrowded, oversaturated. I'd have to do this, do that. Other people are failing at it. I probably would too. It's all the big guys. Whatever you're doing in your life, right? Maybe your hobby, you know, trying to take your hobby into more of a full-time gig or an income source. I don't know. What are people going to think? Me wasting all this time on this stupid thing, wasting my time and money. I should just stick to the path that's laid out. And I'm not doing that anymore. I don't care. I'm at the point now where I truly do not care. I don't care if everyone in the Pokemon hobby wants to make a video laughing at every major decision I make. I'm not going to hide those decisions. And that way, you know, when it doesn't go my way, I can be like, well, I didn't really do it anyway. I was just saying I did. Or I didn't really go that hard anyway. It doesn't bother me. Nope. Put it out there. And this is nothing, right? These are just poster collections, right? I have quite a bit of them, but you know, that's not all. I've got tons and tons of Prismatic Evolutions, ETBs, ETB cases, PC ETBs, booster bundles, you name it. I'm going heavy. I have not believed in a set this much since XY Evolutions. After XY Evolutions, I would say the next set I really believed in that I went heavy on, which, again, wasn't Evolving Skies. I'd love to say it was. It was Paldea Evolved. Really believed in Paldea Evolved. Went really heavy on it. And 151. Went really heavy on 151. And again, tons of sets that had performed better or worse that I probably missed out. It's not important. What's important is sticking to your gut, making the play, having the funds and the risk profile to be able to make the plays. And yeah, look, if this doesn't pan out, listen to this. They could reprint this set 10 more times in the next couple years while it's in print. This stuff could tank in half. And I could lose money. We could be sitting here 5 years from now. I could still be down on this stuff. Hobby could slow down. Demand decreases. Supply increases. Nobody wants it anymore. It's plentiful. That's a real possibility. But I'm willing to take it. I do not believe it. I personally do not believe the rhetoric that is out there that Pokemon either can or will print infinite amounts of this stuff. I do not believe the amount of printing that will happen will outpace demand at the rate to really correct this market in a major way. I truly believe the amount of money that I either know or don't know is out there that is being consistently moved into this hobby is far greater than the amount of product that is being dumped. And I think the set and the values of the things you can pull inside are strong enough to withstand anything that's coming in the next couple of years. And the last set I can remember that got printed like this was Crown Zenith. 151 got printed a lot. I remember back in Hidden Fates got printed a lot. It took Hidden Fates a little while, but it eventually rose. And Evolutions was printed into the ground. And when I look back at all those situations, for me, the risk isn't even losing money. The risk is just how long do I have to hold to make money? And so when I look at all this stuff, I say, well, I'll just make sure that whatever I buy, I'm not going to need to sell until it hits the price points I'm comfortable with. Maybe it takes a year. Maybe it hits 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. It doesn't matter to me. And I think more people need to go about this with that perspective is don't put anything into this stuff that you cannot afford to either lose or sit on. If everything behind me goes to absolute zero, will it hurt financially? Absolutely. Will it crush me to where I'm going bankrupt and can't pay my bills? No, because again, I've taken steps to make sure we're completely debt free. And literally, if me and my wife had to go get jobs at, McDonald's and Burger King, we could literally make enough income at minimum wage to be able to pay our bills at this point. And so, yes, that affords me the ability to take on a little more risk than I could have last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Fair? Don't look at this and think, you need to be at this level. Some of you out there are 10 times higher than this level. I know some of the people that watch my channel are wealthy individuals and make me look like a peon. And so there's always levels to this stuff. I don't need to be at their level. You don't need to be at this level. He doesn't need to be at her level. She doesn't need to be at his level. But whatever level you're at, if you believe in something out there, not even in this hobby, whatever it is in life, make sure if you're not going for it, it's because you don't believe in it for yourself. It's not because you're worried about what someone else is going to say or what someone else is going to think. It's not because you think it's going to take too long. It's not because, you're worried about that, about risking, being where you're at. You don't want to ever go backwards a little bit. And if it means going forward further in the future, make decisions based on your gut instincts, on what you believe. Because even if things go wrong, at least you did what you believed in and you didn't just follow a crowd because louder voices were saying otherwise. And that's the point I finally got to, guys. Look, I know there's a lot of people in this hobby that they don't like me. They detest me. They detest my channel. They don't like anything I stand for. And that's fine. If I was doing something that I didn't believe in, it would wear on me. It would have to, right? If you have any kind of soul at all. everything I put out, I 100% believe in myself, and I do myself. And the amount of you guys that do it with me and that continue to send me all the success stories and all the things you guys have been able to do in your lives because of this hobby, it's worth every penny, man. It's worth every minute I spend on these videos, every bit of research I do, and every bit of risk I take. So that's pretty much my rant for today. I hope you guys continue to follow the paths that are right for you, not the paths that are safe because you want to kind of forego any kind of criticism. That's all I got. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not. Be back in a new one soon. I'm out.